Good morning. I'm Sean Empire, and welcome to Better Assholes. It may not be morning where you are, but it's morning somewhere. So, in that case, good morning to wherever it may be morning to. So, it's been an interesting day. This recording should be better than the last two, and that's because I was not in studio. So, I had to make way with, what I had. And so, that's a very less complicated step than this one. Anyways, so let's just get right into the craziness. There's been some German Christmas market attack that happened recently. Very interestingly enough, it has been very controversial just based on the decline in journalism standards. It's been just insane to imagine that we're now in a world, especially in I could understand this happening, old USSR or current day Russia or North Korea, whatever. But to be in Canada or the US or some parts of Europe and have the media lie to you, lie right to your faces and cover up things and just be indirect, right? This was, as far as I understand, this was a very big terrorist attack. And so this was Magdeburg, probably saying it wrong, but it's a Christmas market in Germany. It was attended by over 2,000 people. Let's see, about 2,100 people. Basically, a 50-year-old guy from Saudi Arabia who was living in Germany for about almost 20 years. He ran down a bunch of people. It seems like there's about maybe 5, 6 people dead and, maybe 100 injured or something like that, right? But you have to check the stats. And why I don't have a lot of information on that is because, sometimes I hate to say it, but sometimes I do check some of these alternate news sites like CNN or CBC. And so the reason I do that is because one of the first things that happens in an event like this is information, then misinformation, and then the type of information that's fed from the media to change the events of what happened and what's going on. So, sometimes, and I go on X, I'll see some stuff on X, I'll check out, 5, 6, 10 news sources of all different news sources. So, I mean, I have an idea of what was going on, but what I really like to do sometimes is you check a CBC, a CNN, a MSNBC, because you can go on X and be outraged, but you don't understand the extent of the misinformation that you're getting from the media. So, as much as I hear about this event that just happened, I'm also hearing about, cover-ups and stories and changes or whatever. So, I mean, I've seen about a dozen media sources that have said this was, a car drove through it, a car drove through. So so many news sources, they try not to identify the suspect, their origin, their religion, their race, and I mean, a lot of that, yeah, is maybe good to an extent, right? There's certain times where you need to, maybe make things a little less on the, that abrasive side. So, I mean, if something's going to be, riot size, maybe, okay, before you unleash a riot, maybe you're going to kind of make sure you're not going to, release all the information. And so it's happened in the past, right? They release information, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's, whatever. And then people go around like, after 9/11. After 9/11, I remember people were going after people with turbans. They were going after Indians and beating up Indians because they thought they were a Muslim terrorists. So I can understand some of this stuff, right? Sometimes no matter the situation, you do have to think about, yourself and your family and being in other people's shoes. So, while you want to understand who did it, the motive and why and how and where and blah, 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 and, all the details, you kind of have to understand sometimes that the government and the police don't work as efficiently as normal people do. So, they need time to figure stuff out before they kind of release stuff. That's why we have to be our own best private investigators sometimes. Right. But my real point here is what I found very, very interesting is going on in CBC and noticing that this wasn't a big topic. It was something they put 5, 6, 7 levels down. Like it was like 3 pages in a small heading. So you didn't really know what was going on if this was serious. Everything else was serious. So they're trying to bring more refugees in. They're trying to make, Canadians feel good about the Liberals, Justin Trudeau, and whatever. So they're putting this in little letters because they don't want, people here to get upset with, various cultures or whatever, right? That's what it is now, is protecting people. And as we don't want to be, hate mongers, we also want to understand stuff. We're not like 2 years old where the government has to tell us, lie to us so that we don't go crazy. Like it's absurd at this point. So, I give a really big thumbs down to CBC on that. I mean, I don't generally look at this. I know they're, super liberal, super socialist, super, Trudeau run, liberal run. So I understand this is all bullshit on here, but I mean, it is surprising to see something of that caliber, not even be an important news item. Like it's very crazy. The top story is about Syrian Canadians having a bad time in Syria, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 articles on the front page about Syria, which is really catering towards Syrian Canadians and refugees that are coming to Canada, whatever. So that's that, right? You have an anti-Trump opinion. You have some information about Trudeau. Oh, you have another Syrian article. Excuse me, a anti-man article. Anti, establishment, anti-corporate, like it's pretty crazy. More anti-Trump, anti-Israel, right? And then you finally get to this German thing. And the German thing is basically, as important as some recalled oysters. So that's where we are right now in the news with stuff like this, right? In liberal leaning news, it's hiding certain things. So they want to hide the fact that a Saudi guy killed a bunch of people and tried to destroy a Christmas market, but they want to make you feel good about getting kicked out of power, and then all these, basically people that are, I don't know, right? Like it got taken over by rebels. I don't know. So what are we, pro-rebel now? It's only kind of a shitty thing when the government gets taken over by, Islamic rebels, and then you expect that to go good. So we're going to see how that goes. We're going to talk about that next time. But for now, right? Thank you for listening. You guys have a great day. This is Better Assholes, and I'm Sean Empire signing off. Until next time.